All right, welcome everyone. My name is Eric, and welcome to today's info session. This is kind of unusual for us. We're doing this on a Sunday. We don't even hold these info sessions very often. We only do this maybe a couple times a month, really at the most. But welcome to today's info session where I'm not trying to sound dramatic or anything, but really this could be the beginning of your life changing because we're going to talk about a very fast growing field industry where you can get paid what you're worth potentially, where there is opportunity for not only growth, but also remote work. A lot of the things that people say they want when they describe their ideal job. As a matter of fact, I asked before we got started, the folks who were logging in, can you describe your ideal job? What are some characteristics of that? And some of the responses I got was something that's stable, something that's a hybrid. That's something we're going to be talking about. Remote opportunities, recession proof, and remote. So we're going to get into those things because those are some major aspects of what we're going to talk about today. So, what's the purpose of this info session? Well, we have a boot camp, and we'll describe what the boot camp is, what that means in just a little bit. But we have a boot camp, as you can see on your screen there, beginning on August the 10th. That's not too far away. I mean, we're looking at what 3 weeks. That's going to be starting. So this is if you have been thinking and talking about changing your life and potentially working remotely and potentially, like I said, getting paid what you're worth and doing and feeling good about what it is that you're doing, don't procrastinate because you're in the right place. You're in the right webinar, and we're going to talk about all the things that you need to do that we can help you do to get started, to get your foot in that door, I guess you could say, with that new career. We have again, it's a life-changing boot camp. We have one of our alumni who's here with us today, whose name is Saeed. Saeed's going to tell you about what his experience was. He was in a webinar just like this, and he was wondering, who are these guys? What are they all about? And now he's living the dream, so to speak. So you'll be able to ask him questions. He'll be interviewed in just a little bit by one of our founders, Amet, who will be joining me in just a few minutes. But we're going to give you some background on who Neotech is. We're going to talk about the IT industry and talk a lot about our boot camp, which really will condense in 6 months our boot camp, what it would normally take people years to learn on the job. Now, there are a few things I want to address right here at the beginning, right here at the outset, and that is the following. I get this question a lot. Does it matter what my educational background is? And the answer is no. A lot of companies, what they really care about is, can you do the job? And we're going to train you to do that job. Another question that people ask is, what about my age? Am I too old to think about a new career? I would say no. It doesn't really matter if you're in your 40s, your 50s, or even your 60s. It doesn't matter what your background is. I don't care if you're currently parking cars, you're a valet at a restaurant, or if you are a bartender, or if you're in a white collar type career right now. We have a lot of people who are in the medical profession, the medical field, who are making a transition to IT. We have people who are in the education field that are making a transition into IT. All walks of life, really. And so we're going to address all of your concerns, all of your questions. Our boot camp also comes with a money back guarantee. We will do what we can to help you land that first job. So really, all of the objections that you would think you might have, we've addressed them. We don't leave any stone unturned because we really want you to succeed in the IT industry, because when you succeed, we succeed as well. It comes back to us. So as we get going here, why consider an IT career? Well, quite simply, and I think I'm preaching to the choir here, meaning, I think you guys already know this, but some of the fastest growing occupations are in the IT industry. For the next generation, think about this, everything is going to be tech related. And it already seems like it is, at this point. Jobs are available in all major cities. Many of our students have received a remote job offer. That's not a guarantee. Some companies are wanting people to have more of a hybrid type role where they come into the office and do remote on top of that. And there might still be some companies out there that will want you to come into the office on a regular basis. But notice this though, or keep this in mind. There are more remote opportunities available today than there have ever been in history. And when I think back on COVID, I mean, it's been over 5 years now since COVID happened. The pandemic. It's hard to believe it's been that long. Well over 5 years, about 5.5 years since that started. But guys, remember back when COVID started and a lot of companies were shutting down. Um, in the IT industry, there were already a lot of remote opportunities available as it was. So that only increased those opportunities. So again, your language, I'm sorry, the your education doesn't matter, your age doesn't matter. I want to talk about language for a second. I do get this question somewhat often. Does English have to be my first language? And the answer is no. I mean, should you be able to communicate in English? Yes. That's going to be very helpful. But don't worry if your English is not perfect. Don't worry if you don't have a 4 year degree. Again, employers want to know if you can do the job. We're going to talk about the salaries in just a few minutes here as well. Now, let's talk about software testing because a lot of people, what happens is when they first get into IT, they they gravitate towards software testing because it's more entry level. And after you've mastered software testing, you can then advance to other careers after that, some of which we'll show you in a few minutes here. But let's talk about what a software tester is. In case you are curious, you may have seen that term before. And I know it sounds kind of self-explanatory, software testing. I guess I'm testing software, right? But what is the need for a software tester? What is it that they will be doing? What is it that you'll be doing as a software tester if you decide to get your IT career started in this? Well, think about it like this, guys. All of you have used apps before, on your phone. You've used Uber or TikTok or IG or Facebook or something like that or Amazon. You name it. So what a functional app is. You try to use it and it works, right? It doesn't crash or anything like that. Well, here's the thing. Companies will want to hire people just like you to test out their software, to act as the end user, the customer, before it gets introduced to the public. Because think about it. Imagine if Uber in their app got introduced to the public without it being properly tested. And every time, people started to use it, it crashed. Well, that's not going to be very good, will it? I mean, imagine the bad reviews they would get. And it would cost them millions, literally tens of millions probably to recover from that. So they have people like yourself who will test it out to make sure everything works properly. And you'll be given a checklist. It's called a list of requirements. And the good news is you don't have to fix anything. You just simply go through your checklist, the so-called requirements, and you're going to check to make sure the development team did everything that they were supposed to do, such as, is the font correct? Is the color scheme correct? Does it work? Does it function properly when you try to use it? And you simply are trying to find the bugs. That's it. You're trying to find the bugs. So you make a note of the bugs. If you do your little bug report there, you let the development team know about it, and they take care of it. So you're simply finding the problem, not actually fixing the problem, which is great news for a lot of people. All right. So and the software. Notice this. Also, a lot of software testing jobs will start, and we're gonna show you some examples of this in just a little bit later on in our webinar here, but they can start out in that 90,000 plus area. Now, it depends on where you live, yes, but I think you'll see that that's not uncommon at all. Now, we have a career focused syllabus. Now, how does this whole thing work? How does our boot camp work? Well, it works very similar to what you're participating in right now. It's all handled by Zoom, it's all remote. And we're going to give you the times. We're going to give you the days that it's going to be taking place in just a little bit as well. So we're going to get to all your questions also towards the end here. But you can feel free to ask questions along the way, if you wish. But if you do have let's say a full-time job or a part-time job and you're concerned, well, man, the live classes are taking place online when I'm doing my job. Don't worry about that because we record all of the sessions. You can simply watch the recording when you can. but it's going to be similar to going back to school in a lot of ways. We're going to have homework for you. There will be projects for you to work on. These projects are very, very important, guys, because you'll be able to put these projects, these actual projects that we'll have you work on your CV, on your resume, and we're going to help you with resume preparation. So don't worry about that. But imagine, I mean, think about it like this. Think about where you are right now, not really knowing much about IT at all in most cases. That's our typical student. And then imagine where you would be 6 months from now, or 6 months after the boot camp begins, learning, like I was saying at the beginning, what would normally take people years and just condensing it down into a 6 month boot camp. So you will be acquiring significant technical knowledge in programming, coding languages, and tools. And these are some career paths that you might choose after graduation. We'll talk about a few of these in just a few minutes. And by the way, guys, don't worry if you're looking at some of these things and you don't really understand them. Like, what exactly is a software development engineer and test? What is a test lead or an automation test engineer? A lot of the terminology when it comes to IT, you might not be familiar with right now, but it's just like anything else. When I always say that, when I was in high school and I took calculus, yeah, my first semester, I didn't really know much about what was going on. I was like, why am I even taking this course? But by the second semester, if you were to ask me things that took place in the first semester, I was like, okay, well, I understand it now because I've done it. So we might throw out some terms today in our little presentation where you might say, well, what does that mean? You'll understand it though as we move along. When you start to go through the process, you'll be exposed to different terminology, and then as you start to do it, you'll get it. And by the way, that leads me to how we actually instruct. I love the way that we instruct here because it helps people like myself who really can't be simply told what to do. I don't know if maybe some of you can relate to me here, but I have a hard time, learning something, especially if it's more complex, if somebody just tells me what to do. Okay, I want you to show me what it is that you're doing. Then let me do it, and you let me know if I'm doing it correctly. Anybody relate to that? It's called experiential training, and studies have shown that really is that's really the most optimal way for people to learn anything. And so that's how we teach you here. We don't just do a PowerPoint presentation and that's it. No, we're showing you what it is that you need to do, letting you do it, and we're holding your hand along the way to make sure you do it correctly. So write down this date if you have not done so already, August the 10th. That's the beginning of our 6 month accelerated course, and that can lead into a career in software testing, software development, engineer, and test. That's more of an automated type of tester, which we'll talk about in just a few minutes as well. But notice this up here, course report, very highly respected in our industry. They rated us in 2023 as the best QA testing bootcamp, quality assurance testing bootcamp. 2024, same thing. Career Karma, also very well respected in the industry, rated us in 2024 last year as the best software testing bootcamp. So we've got the proof, the social proof of hundreds and hundreds of students literally around the world. This is for our domestic audience here. We'll have an international session as well. But we only do this a couple times a month. That's why I keep emphasizing that, because if this whole thing makes any kind of sense to you guys, I encourage you, take advantage of it, because yes, it is starting on August the 10th, but there are going to be some things that you'll need to get done before August 10th, which we will have you do to prepare you for the boot camp beginning in a few weeks, okay? And again, we'll talk more about that in just a little bit. But after you graduate, you might decide, or maybe after becoming a software tester, you might decide, wait, I want to, segue into something that's a little bit more complex that pays even more money, like an ETL tester or a Scrum Master. It sounds like a rugby term, doesn't it? Or a cybersecurity analyst. A lot of you probably know what that is, or what a project manager is. So you can start out with software testing, but then that can springboard into other even higher paying careers. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring on our lead instructor. His name is Amit. Amit's also one of our founders. He'll tell you more about, who we are, a little bit about himself as well. He also is going to be interviewing one of our alumni, Saeed, as I mentioned to you earlier. And Ahmed is also in charge of the placement program, which is vital to your success, helping you to land that first job. So, Ahmed, you want to go ahead and take it away, my friend?
Thank you so much, Eric. Thank you for a kind invitation and introduction. All right, so a little bit about myself. As Eric mentioned, I'm one of the instructors here. I happen to be a co-founder of an academy, and I'm also working as a software tester. So here in the academy, all of our team also like takes active role in IT fields, and I take a big pride of that. So let me share my screen and I get to show you guys a little bit about what we're going to be teaching here. I don't mean to get into too technical details. High level, I'm sure some of you are already in the market and searching for a bootcamp and you know it, or maybe you are a manual tester, or like you're coming from the IT background. But for those who doesn't have any information whatsoever, any background whatsoever, you are in the right place because this is the right program for you. So what do we teach? We start from the beginning manual testing. So that's the essence of everything, right? You have to be a manual tester in order to learn the automation. So what is the automation? Automation is the part that we combine the coding and programming and take it and make you automate the process that you do manually. So that's how you test it. So we will teach you all of that, all the everything that you need to learn the coding, which is our Java language programming, and also whatever you will be needing to test from the back end of it all the way to the front end. So what are those? The front end is what we are dealing with the web applications such as Amazon, right? You go to Amazon, you like a product, you click on add to cart, and you purchase that. What is the back end? Whatever happening, like where is your credit card being stored? Where is your address is being stored? So we will not only teach you the front end, but also the back end. So that will make you a full stack software tester. Is that enough? No, because what is this program? This program is a career change program. We want you to be finding a high-paying IT job. That's our goal. That's where we're gonna stop. Like actually, we don't even stop, but like this is our goal. So what do? We teach you everything you need to land you that first job as a QA engineer, as a software tester. So that would include a lot of resume building, interview preparation, soft skills, which is really important. And after that, again, we will be also giving you guidance and assistance throughout your career. So if you ever came across a problem, you can always reach us out. If you want to change jobs, we'll be there to help you out. So this is how it looks. Obviously, as Eric mentioned, we will have the questions, but if you have anything, uh, any questions you have in your mind, please put it in the chat. We're going to be having our alumni, and like we will have to, we can direct your questions to him. So these are some of the tools that we teach. Obviously, I'm not going to get into details, but overall, Java is the programming language. It's the one of the most popular programming languages out there, and it's kind of a when you learn Java, the rest of the programming languages are really easy to learn, and we will combine that with different tools such as Selenium, such as TestNG, such as Cucumber. We have like lots of tools, and I can assure you more tools. I mean, we have more tools than I have the logos here, but at the end of the day, you will be uh, more than sufficient on all of that, like professionally sufficient on all of those tools. And you would be surprised. Wow, yeah, I remember this day, the info session that we have on sorry, July 20th. And now I know all of the tools that I've seen there. So this is how it goes. So just to recap, this is how you will learn. You will be going through live classes. And I want to emphasize that. Why? Because we're not just giving you out recorded classes from previous times that you just watch yourself. No, we are having those classes live. What does that mean? Live assistance, live action. So we encourage you to join the classes live. But let's say that you're not able to join, which I'm gonna get the schedule and schedule doesn't fit you. Nothing happens. I mean, you're good because all of our classes are being recorded. We have a lot of students who are able to just watch the recording and again do the same thing. You will have lots of individual projects as well as the group projects. These are really crucial. Why? Because we want to give you that we want to stimulate the real work environment. And that's the best way to do it because technically, when you find a job, you will work as a project based. So you will go to the project and another project, even though you're working full time. That's how it works in the IT field, in the software development field. We will have office hours. These are all additional hours just to help you out with the what? With the homeworks and tasks that you have. You might have a problem with, as well as the coding challenges. Coding challenges are so fun. We have a platform of our own, and you can just go there and practice your coding skills, and you can take it from there. We will have review classes on every Sunday. And those are to, just to make sure that you understand everything well. And again, we will have mentor sessions. That's something that I want to emphasize. The mentors are people like our seasoned software testers who are working in the field actively, and they're working in different domains. So you get to ask questions about every concern you have, and they get to talk about their experience. And they're already, really experienced in this, and they know what to share. And you'll get to see what are the differences of domains and what is the same, what is the mutual things that we teach you. So that's that, which is one of the beauty about the software testing, because once you're a software tester, your domain regardless of your domain right now, you can be working at a bank as a bank teller. You don't have to find a job as a finance. You can just switch to healthcare, or you can be a nurse and you can just switch to finance or any other thing. So this is how it's gonna be uh, taught. Our schedule. So I'm sure you guys are wondering about it, and I'm also sure that most of you are wondering about our pricing. Pricing is gonna come later, a little bit later. Eric is going to cover that. I'm gonna talk about the schedule. So what is the schedule looking like? On the weekdays, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 7 p.m. till 10 p.m. So that's the time that we have for our classes. On Saturday and Sunday, it's 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. These are all in Eastern time, and I have to remind you, this is like New York time, and I have to remind you, these are all being recorded, and the classes will be available right after the class. So the recordings will be just published right after the class. We are starting when? Starting August 10, and we have limited time and limited space. So we'll show you how to, secure your spot without doing anything, just by an application. But this is how it looks. Now, what I'll do, I'll invite our alumni, Saeed. Let me promote you. There you go.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Ahmed. How are you?
Hi, Saeed. I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Let me do this. Perfect. So, thank you so much for joining. It's a long time that I haven't been able to see you. So, I would like to. Can you please introduce yourself? What are you doing? And like your story a little bit.
Yeah, of course. I'm Saeed. I'm Saeed. I was a part of Neotech Academy batch number 3. I'm alumni. Uh, I think nowadays already it's been 5 years. I've been working as a senior automation engineer for a huge consulting agency, and Ahmed was one of my instructors as well. He spent a lot of time teaching me about this industry. But yeah, life has been good. Before joining the bootcamp, I've had some office jobs, but they didn't pay what I wanted. So I worked whatever paid more, like Uber Eats, a lot of other gigs. And then there comes a time when you want to get paid, like Eric mentioned, what you're worth. And yeah, that's when I decided to join the Neotech Academy, completed this bootcamp, and I found the job.
Right.
Then yeah, I think that was the best decision in my life. I'm not gonna tell you guys it's gonna be easy. Ahmed knows I was one of the worst students for about like 4.5 months, and then but if you keep going, if you put in effort, I think I'm a big believer in like if you work hard for something, it pays off.
Thank,
So.
thank you, Saeed. That's a great introduction. And yes, we're never saying it's easy, but it's definitely doable. It's not something that you cannot do because we give you all the tools and all the information you need, right? So did you have any IT background before you started?
Oh no, 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 no IT background whatsoever. The only thing I could do on computer is just enter the game Dota. It's a strategy game. That's it. I didn't even know Excel or anything how to work on this. All of this I learned throughout the bootcamp. That's why it was extra hard for me. I didn't understand what is computer at all. Like I just used it to play games. That's it.
That's perfectly fine. And you right now you are a senior software tester. That is really, really impressive. Because since it's been also some time for you, so this is how it looks. And I know since it's been a while, but do you happen to remember your first salary? Like what was the range?
Yes, yes, it was in six figures.
Six figures.
Well, you that's why I love Neotech Academy. The first job that I got, they gave me an offer of 90,000. But then I got a call from Ihsan, that's another instructor in Neotech Academy, and then he told me like you shouldn't be taking this job now. It's gonna take some time, like about a month for background check and everything, until you start actually working. So in that time, you should be working twice as hard, applying and trying to find a higher paying job. So yeah, the second offer that I got was in six figures.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. As you can see, the site is a good testament of that. So are you working remotely or hybrid? How is this?
Yeah, the first, well, because I work for a consulting agency, my first job was hybrid. I used to go twice a week to office. But then 2 years ago, I switched to a different project. I asked my manager that I want a remote job, and yeah, 2 years ago, I switched to full remote job.
That's amazing. And like, so do you miss going to the office or do you like it better this way?
Yeah, to be honest, sometimes I have a lot of more time, but I think ideal job as a first job, I would suggest everybody take the hybrid job because in online job, as you know, you don't know anybody. You never met in person anybody, and our job, as you know, is it's critical to communicate with people. And online it takes some time until you actually prove that you're worth being talked to. Like it takes some time, but when you go to office twice a week you meet everybody, and then if you have questions, if you message them, they know who is messaging them, so most likely they're gonna answer you. I had a bit of a tough time like first couple months when I switched to online job. As you know, like we don't know the project, uh, we don't know how the application works, and we need a lot of help in the beginning, even the most experienced software engineers. So in that regard, I think the first job, hybrid job, in my opinion, is ideal. I learned a lot in that job, and my colleagues helped me a lot.
I actually agree to this because again, as you mentioned, you mentioned something great. Even if you are an experienced software tester, let's say that you're in the field for more than 10 years, 15 years, and you're working actively and you switch the company, the new company is going to be using some other, like even understanding the application takes some time, right? And obviously being there is definitely helpful. And how was the training process for you? Like I know the training that you got from the bootcamp, but did the
Yeah.
company train you on the application they have?
Oh, absolutely. Usually the first 2 weeks is onboarding. I only worked on two projects, but both of them, on those both projects, you have onboarding buddy, is that what it's called, Ahmed? Yeah. One person is always with you 2 weeks explaining you how the application works, their tools, and helping you get to start working. It was great. They treat you like you're a junior software engineer, and because all the companies, they do things differently, and when you switch to a company they want you to do things exactly as they want, so that's why they don't treat you as a senior software engineer. They want you to learn the process on how they do things, and so that you can continue doing that way.
That's wonderful. So I'm going to invite everyone to ask questions for Saeed. Once again, in the chat, you can put it in the chat and I can direct your questions. In the meantime, I wanted to ask you about like the support that you received from us. So it's been 5 years, to say, and how do you feel right now if you get in the job market or even the support that you receive?
I feel great. The Neotech Academy supported me all the way through. I think in our batch was very active. We even asked for the office hours. That's when it started, I think. So throughout the week, if we had any question, we used to write them down, and then during the office hours, any of the instructors that joined answered all the questions. And even besides office hours, whenever we're stuck, every student could reach out to any instructor and they would connect for 5-10 minutes, help you resolve your problem. All the way, the everything I think you guys need is just an effort. Everything else Neotech Academy provides.
Thank you for saying that. And how long did it, you mentioned that, how long did it take for you to find a job again? First job?
1.5 months, I think.
Ah, that's wonderful. And how many interviews have you had for that, before that?
Oh, a lot, a lot. Probably around 100.
Yeah,
It's Yeah, it's not. It takes a little bit of time, but the only thing we need is just one yes, right? So I think 1.5 months is a good amount of time to find a job.
that is so true. I mean, it's also, there's a percentage of like luck includes in the system. How does it work? I mean, we've had some students who are in the job market for like one day, and they give me a call back and be like, "Hey, we just got a call, and I think I got a job." And we've had some like great students like yourself, and they were taking a little bit longer time. So that's, which is perfectly fine. Uh,
Yeah, I actually wanted to mention because I never had like a proper interview before this. Most of my interviews were failed on the behavioral questions because I didn't know. Like when I was asked, "Oh, how did you resolve a conflict in your workplace before?" I couldn't answer. So most of them were failed not because you guys didn't teach enough or I didn't have enough knowledge. It was the behavioral questions that I had to prepare for. So I wrote down the scripts on some of the questions, and yeah, after that it was okay. I think if I was ready to those, which you guys provide actually training for behavioral questions as well, but I didn't pay attention much to those. I thought the technical questions are more important.
Thanks, absolutely. And we have one question. This is regarding, would having a high school diploma only be a problem? So, did you have a bachelor's degree, Said?
No, no, I have an associate's degree only. I don't think that's a problem at all.
I agree. I mean, at the end of the day, what they're looking at your skill set in an interview process, and as long as you ace that interview with the information that we provide, which it's not that hard, you have nothing to worry about. So even having a high school diploma or no diploma whatsoever should be enough, as long as you are good at presenting yourself with the software testing skills.
Yeah.
That, that is really good. Uh, All right. Yeah, thank you, admissions, for answering that. Yes, and where are you located right now?
I'm in Maryland.
Maryland. And what is
Yeah.
the domain that you take place the work?
I'm in healthcare.
Healthcare. Wonderful. And did you try any other domains, or was it always healthcare?
Yeah, I think my first job was related to healthcare, and when I switched, it was healthcare as well.
That's
It's
it.
not like I actually my first job offer I did not end up working there as I said, but it was a mortgage company, so finance I would assume.
Mhm.
Uh, it's to let everybody know the domain I don't think is important as long as your knowledge is good enough after the bootcamp. If you learn, if you follow all the instructions, like you can be accepted in any domain.
That is so true. That is so, so true. All right. So I'm gonna ask again if you have any questions to put it in the chat. If not, we're gonna thank Said and continue with the rest of our presentation. Going once, going twice. I guess that will be all. Said, thank you so much for joining and for your kind words.
Thank you very much, Ahmed. Good to see you. It's been a long time.
Good to see you too. Hope to catch up very soon. Take
Have a
care.
wonderful day.
All right, so let's continue with what will happen to get into I mean, how we're gonna take you to the place where Slade is right now, right? Oops. So essentially, this is how it goes. you will go through a mock interview, which is something that we use as a final assessment. So this is a safe environment. You will have the same level of questions where you have with the real interviews, but in the return, you're gonna get a really good feedback. Will help you to build your resume, just to tailor fit to your background. So we will help you with that. The keywords and everything, we're using the same system that the recruiters are using to pick up those keywords. Will give you an extensive knowledge on the market, how to apply for jobs, when to apply for jobs, and we will also have a mentoring sessions. Again, you can always book a call with a mentor so that you can ask your questions, and you will have your group mentoring sessions too. You will have access to our alumni network, just like Saeed, just like many others. When there is a job opening, guess who they are letting know first? Us. And we are distributing that availability to you. I will help you with the salary negotiation. As Saeed mentioned, there is a salary, there's an offer on the table. If there is another one, obviously that's the best thing to do. I love to have that two offers type of thing. But even with a one offer, we will negotiate. We will give you ways to negotiate your compensation package to a higher level with the bonuses, with the PTOs and everything. And that's how it's gonna go. So you can do your own search with this. This program is US and Canada. You can search for yourself. Even if you're in Canada, US, just do a Google search. Glassdoor is a good resource for that. But I think the best resource would be our offer letter. So I put down some offer letters that we've received so far, just to give you a peace of mind, like how it looks when you get that first offer letter. So for the confidentiality purposes, I had to take out the name and the company and everything. But this is the first one. It's $48 per hour. I think it's about to be like 90 plus thousand annually. This is in Florida, so no state tax. That's an additional thing. This one is June 4th from the June. Yeah, this is 135 on the higher level with a 20,000 bonus, but this one is in New York. So, expensive living kind of changes the total compensation that you're getting. I don't know why again, this is 45. Another one that we have, it's $4,423. I think this adds up to what, like over six figures. Let's see, we have this one, 111, again, 112,000. It's a base salary. I'm sure there's some bonus included. We have $80 per hour. This is also possible too. You can easily get a job like that. And I think this one was in Texas. So, yep, Houston, Texas. So again, no state tax, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. We have many, many different offers like this, 82,000 on the low end, 106. I'm just like pointing to the highlighted version, 90K. We have what is it, 95 plus 5,000 bonuses. So as you can see, the average is, again, it's the 100K. So that's what you're looking at. Let me go back to the slide. So these are some of the companies that our alumni is actively working for, and you can be a part of it. But I mean, if you are not working with a big name company, Fortune 500 company, is that a problem? No, there are a lot of great companies, like great companies that is not within the Fortune 500 companies, but they're still treating their employees really well and will help you to get to that point. So I'm going to invite our wonderful VP of admission, Eric, back, and he's going to continue with the most fun part, which is our tuition fee and what are the other important stuff that we're going to be sharing. Eric?
All right, thanks, Matt. Let me just share my screen again here for you guys. There we go. All right. So if you've been to college before, or maybe you've got some kids, I don't know the age range of the people we have logged in right now, but maybe you have kids that are thinking about going to college. Even if you don't, you probably know that college is very expensive nowadays. I'm sure everyone here would agree with that. And if you take a look at this, it says that the average tuition nowadays is over $36,000 a year. That's crazy, isn't it? And then you look at the private universities, they're 50, 60, 70 plus thousand a year in a year. Now, sure, you can get a scholarship, and I've been fortunate. Two of my kids that are college age, they got scholarships. but it's not a guarantee you'll get a scholarship. It's not a guarantee you'll get grants and things of that nature. I think we all know that uh, student debt is a big problem nowadays. What is it, over $1 trillion in student loan debt? But here's my point. Here's the reason why I'm saying that. Someone could literally be in debt for 100 plus thousand dollars, but the university is first job. So you could be in debt, spending all this time, and don't forget the time element. Don't forget, going to school for 4 years and then spending all this money, and they're not even guaranteed a job. How many of you know someone who's working? I'm sorry, let me rephrase it. How many of you know someone who got educated in a certain field and they're not even working in that field? I have family who went through that. My sister, I don't think she's logged in right now. She studied psychology in school, never became a psychologist. I have family who studied physics, never really had a career going on in physics. So you take a look at that, that's a lot of money to spend, and they're not even incentivized to help you land a job. Then you focus on what we are talking about today, other boot camps. So the typical boot camp, you're looking at over $13,000. So you take a boot camp to learn IT. It's going to cost you over $13,000 most of the time. And then you see us down here being a whole lot less. Okay, so here's what we've done. Here's one of the things that separates us from everybody else who's out there. Everybody else wants, or most of them anyway, the average is over $13,000. That's what they're going to want, and a lot of them want it pretty much a chunk of that up front before you've even learned anything. What separates us as far as the tuition goes is we have made it affordable for just about anybody because we want you to get involved. And we have a very unique situation to get you involved, a very unique tuition structure. Let me walk you through exactly how that works, okay? So we have the what's called the regular tuition, which is 52.49. And then we have what we call our early bird discount, which is something for you to take advantage of before we start the boot camp. What day does a boot camp start again? Pop quiz. There you see it right there. August the 10th is coming up in 3 weeks. And then we have the webinar discount. So just for attending this webinar, you get an extra $100 off. And that brings your tuition to $49.99. But here's the thing though, we don't require $49.49 up front. No, it's paid in 7 monthly installments of 707. So 707 per month for 7 months. Okay. Average boot camp is how much again? It's over $13,000. Our tuition winds up being under 5,000. Well, here's how we do this. The reason our tuition is so inexpensive, it's so low, is because of our unique placement fee feature. So here's how this works. And we'll probably explain this a couple of times because it probably takes hearing it a couple of times to fully appreciate it. But it's 85% of your first month's salary after you find a job, which we're going to help you. We'll do everything we can to help you land that first job. It's not 85% of your first year's salary. And you don't pay this if you can't find a job. So until you found a job, you're in for this right here. And you've learned a skill set that nobody can take from you. Once you've got that skill set up here, nobody can take it away. And that is paid in 4 monthly installments. So you're not paying it all up front. So let's say, to give an example, let's say we help you land a job and you're making $10,000 a month. Well, it's 85% of that, which would be what, 8,500, but it's spread out over 4 monthly installments because we're not going to take all your money as soon as you land that job. So we're doing this in such a way, we've structured it in such a way that pretty much anybody can get involved in this. We're going to help you land that first job on top of getting you educated, giving you that skill set. Now, the tuition comes down even further if you meet some of these requirements. Let's say you're referred by a Neotech student or alumni. There's a discount. Just let us know when you reach out to us. We'll give you the contact information in a second. Let us know if you are being referred by somebody because we can give you an additional discount. There are also group discounts. So groups of two, each student gets $150 off. Groups of three, each will get $200 off. Now, if it's a big group of four that you're signing up with, reach out to us, let us know, and what we'll do is we'll work something out for you. Now, What if I change my mind later? Well, there's no deposit. There's no application fee. You don't pay anything until the boot camp actually kicks off. You start paying when the classes begin, not before, and you can cancel for free anytime until the boot camp starts. We also have this 30-day money back guarantee, so you could be involved in our classes for 30 days, participating for 30 days. If you decide this is not for you, no questions asked. It's 100% refund if you decide to leave. And again, we encourage you to sign up with other folks because you can encourage other people. It's like going to the gym with your buddy, and you're encouraging that person to get that last rep in. And later on down the road, when you and your friends or that you signed up with are looking for a job, you might, or maybe you're in a job, maybe, but perhaps one of your friends that you signed up with, they have an opportunity at their job and they let you know about it. So it's helping you to create a network. Whether if you don't have friends though, that's okay because we do have a built-in alumni network that can help you out as well. So to learn more about the bootcamp, just reach out to neotechacademy.com/bootcamp. You can book a call with our admissions team, neotech.live/call. If you're not ready to call, submit your interest by simply going to neotechacademy.com/apply. But secure your spot now, guys. We got 3 weeks left. We have some prep work for you to do before classes begin, which we'll go over with you when you reach out to us. Don't do like the average person. The average person just procrastinates, and then 2025 comes and it goes, and they're still doing what it is that they were doing before. Nothing in their life changed. Some people will say, I got to get my life in order. I got to get my ducks in a row. Guys, no offense. You've never had your ducks in a row. None of us have. No, there's not a single person who's ever had every single duck in a row. Why? Because the moment you get that last duck in the row, what's that first duck doing? He's already walking away, you know? So life's never going to be perfect. It's never going to be a perfect time. If you've been looking to make a change in a fast growing industry and you want to have the things that some of you said that you wanted at the beginning when I asked what your ideal job was, and I noticed that I have it on I got 6 screens here. So on my other screen where I've got the chat set up, a lot of you guys were saying you wanted something where you are able to work remotely, have more freedom, advancement opportunity. That's what you've got here. IT really does check all the boxes. So email us for any questions. Again, team@neotechacademy.com to schedule a phone call. Simply go to Neotech, again, neotech.live/call, and you see our number up here on the screen, 929-566-3919. Before we get to more of your questions, let's just do a quick little comparison. Let's compare signing up with us and letting us educate you to, really start your new life. It's exciting. Think about what Saeed said. He started out with a six-figure career after going through the boot camp for 6 months. Now, it took him about a month and a half to land that first job. So there was some work involved in landing that first job, and we'll do what we can to help you in landing that first job. But I think you gathered there that he felt it was more than worth it. So Neotech Academy, signing up with us, it's a 6-month program, and we don't teach you fluff. Everything in our program is market driven. We give you the one-on-one mentorship. We have nearly 24/7 technical support. It's hands-on. You're learning from people who are actually doing it. When I was at university and I took business courses, no offense to my professors, but a lot of the learning content was theoretical. I mean, I don't think I had a single business professor who actually has started a business before or really went very high up in a corporation or anything. They just taught theory. I'm not saying that's the case of every single professor, but that was just my experience anyway. With us, though, you're learning from people who are in the industry. The curriculum is market driven, so you're not learning things that 6 months later it was like all for naught because technology changed or whatever. No, we stay in the forefront of technology because our instructors are actually doing it. Now, you can be self-taught. How long is it going to take you to do it? Who knows? Everybody procrastinates. I always tell the story of a friend of mine who he got War and Peace. The book War and Peace, and it became a running joke. I would ask him, "So when are you gonna?" Or I would ask, like, "What chapter are you on?" "Oh, I'm still on chapter one." Like a year later. So when if we're doing something on our own without any clear cut time frame, there's no urgency. University, yeah, it's 4 years or more. Online courses are self-paced. With us, it's 6 months to learn what you need to know to get your foot in the door, land that first job, perhaps as a software tester, but maybe become something more automated, down the road. With us, industry expert trainers, if you're self-taught, you're saying, "Hey, I'm the expert." Well, are you the expert in IT right now? You probably wouldn't be tuned into to our webinar right now if you were the expert. And that's not to say that you aren't an expert right now in what it is that you're currently doing. I'm sure you are. But to become an expert in IT, you want to get trained by people who are actually doing it, and that's what we offer. So, what we're offering blows away being self-taught online courses, and even in a university setting. How much does a university cost you? It's so much more money. What we're doing is we're putting ourselves on the same side of the table as you, as opposed to being on opposite sides of the table. Because university, again, they're not going to guarantee you. Not, we don't guarantee you a job either, but we do everything. We're incentivized to help you land that first job. Universities, they aren't. You could be in debt for hundreds of thousands of dollars, and again, still not be guaranteed that job. But we're on the same side of the table as you. We're incentivized to help you land that first job, same side of the table. So, guys, what we're going to do is I'm going to bring Amet back on, and we are going to take your questions and your answers, and we'll give you some answers, I should say. And this is I'll just put the contact information up there again so you can have that handy. But fire away with any final questions that you might have, guys.
You can use the chat section and we'll be here to answer your questions. But overall, you can always reach us out. Our admission experts are going to help you out with any questions you have. It might be, something that you don't want to share here. It might be your special condition. It might be working visa, this and that. Whatever it is, just give us a call. Schedule a call, actually. That's the best way because you can make sure that your time fits. I mean, your schedule is actually like up to date with ours, so you know when you're going to be receiving a call. Or if you're shy about talking on the phone, you can always email us. That's perfectly fine too. Overall, this program is like risk-free and you can just try it for 30 days and see for yourself. But yeah, I guess we don't have much questions. We have a really shy crowd today, Eric, right?
It must be because it's Sunday morning. It's something about Sunday morning, I guess.
No, I know. Yeah, just Sunday chills. All right. The link is in the chat. It's on the screen too. Okay, now we have one from Tanisha. Thank you, Tanisha. What's the average time for our students to get a job offer? Again, I would say the average time is like the 2 months. That's the time frame that we're looking at right now. We've had students who it took longer. It took like 3 or 4 months to get a job. We've had some students, again, they just got a job one day, like within the first week that they were released to the job market. So again, it kind of depends on how well prepared you are as well as how lucky you are, because the only thing you need is the first yes, first offer letter. That's how it goes. Great question. Okay, I'm waiting for other questions. If not, we're gonna end the call, and you can always reach us out from using this link or email or phone number, and we would love to see you in our classes. I guess that's it. Thank you all for joining and watching us. We're looking forward to see you in our classes.
Take care, guys. And congratulations for those of you moving forward.
Bye.